The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for joining us. You see a little bit of a different setup today. That's because they're building us out a brand new studio. So it's going to be absolutely delightful. If you want to listen to my radio show, it's very simple for you to do so. Two different places. You can do it on WVNN in Huntsville from 5 until 9 a.m. And then from 10 until noon on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She joins us. She is the CEO of 256 Today, and we are ready to go. Smart news for smart people. So let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute warning and get started. Mecca, the state of the state is here. It's obvious, it's clear that Kay Ivey has an agenda. Nobody knew what that agenda was before we got started, but now she has a clear agenda, and that agenda is, whatever. You know, whatever you guys want to do is fine with me. She brought up some stuff we're going to talk about here in a little bit. We're going to talk a little school choice. We will go ahead and we'll talk some rebates and tax reform and stuff like that as well. Here's my question for you. Was there anything in that speech that said, yeah, Alabama's moving forward, that's the direction we're going? Was there anything good there?
Absolutely. If you are a speechwriter, a political person, you're going to see this and you're going to say, yeah, that was a good job. It was a good job. She touted out, and that's what this is for. She touted Alabama's successes. She laid out priorities and goals. I think she did a great job.
Now, a lot of people aren't complaining about the speech she delivered or how she delivered it or anything like that. I think what I'm talking about is the lack of vision. And let me put it that way. There weren't any big swings. We'll talk about school choice again. Obviously, she came out in favor of tax rebates. She didn't offer up any reform. She didn't reach across the aisle and say, hey, Anthony Daniels, you have a pretty interesting idea. You're the Senate or the House Minority Leader. But you know what? Sometimes Democrats have good ideas. So let's get some bipartisan stuff done and maybe do some tax reform or something like that. There was no cornerstone project or anything like that she swung for.
I think she did focus on education, probably not to the extent that Leader Daniels would want, but she did talk about education, that everyone should go to kindergarten. I mean, there were some things, there was some substance, I thought, to it as well. And I know we're going to talk about this in a minute, but the rebate reform, that definitely had some substance that I don't think everybody was actually expecting quite that number.
Were my expectations just too high?
For her speech?
Yeah, for the whole thing.
Well, tell me what you wanted her to say.
I wanted it to be aspirational. I wanted to have like something grand. Like, here's what we're working on as a state. We're going to build a spaceship and go to the moon or something. I don't know. Just something aspirational.
Do you not think maybe your personality as being somewhat of a hypercritical person would cause you to feel this way? Because I think looking as just a casual observer, I think she hit all the marks and did a great job.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about one of the things she did talk about. This caught a lot of people with their feet flat-footed, to put it that way. What happened? When it came to talking about that extra money, we're going to give money back to the people. How are we going to do it? Are we going to put it into a savings account and use it? Are we going to give them a rebate? Are we going to do some form of tax reform? I don't know if she used the word tax reform. She said rebate, $800 for each family, $400 for each person. Now, up until that point, Mecca, we were told that there's some stuff mixing around. Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody mentioned $400 or $200 for each. Nobody said, or $400 for each person, $800 for a couple. Nobody said that. That surprised a lot of people. Sam Gavan said, how's it even going to happen? He's a state senator I talk to every Thursday. What did you think when you heard that? Because I perked up.
I definitely see. That's what I'm talking about. That was a pretty bold step, because if you remember, we've talked about on the show, there had been support for putting money back in the taxpayers' pockets. This was something that a lot of lawmakers had got behind. Not this number, though. I think the number that had been floated around was, like you said, 200 for individuals, 400 for couples. This doubles that. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise.
Okay, maybe this was the aspirational thing, and I didn't see it as aspirational because I don't think there's any chance it's going to happen. And most people I've talked to have said the same thing, that they're going to have to dial it down a little bit. I even heard this week there's no chance of rebates coming anyway. There are a lot of other concerns out there. That seems odd because this seems like the gimme. Like the gimme thing, you pass it. We're giving money back to the people.
It is, but maybe it's just a smart political move to say, oh, well, we wanted to, but this mean person over here wouldn't let us do it.
Yeah. I mentioned that last week that there's three different sides, like in the gambling thing, and now all of them cannot get nothing. And they say, well, I tried, but I wanted to this, and these guys, so maybe nothing happens. I think the tax reform thing is so interesting because I heard now between a month and 4-year tax window on a tax holiday, a 4-year tax holiday. What are we, British, taking 4-year vacations or something? All right, let's talk for a second about school choice. That is something that I think is very important for this state. Educational choice, competition makes everything better. Just a philosophical issue for me that I think is very, very good. I've said, cut me off. It's not a thing where I want the money. I'm not Yaffe. Yaffe's like, give me the money. I am not that way. We'll talk to Yaffe a little bit later when he's there. But Kay Ivey considers school choice to be magnet schools, charter schools, the cybersecurity school, a potential medical prep school down there. She didn't mention the Magic City Acceptance Academy as one of those school choice options. Kind of weird that one didn't come up. But school choice as she declares it and school choice as I declare it, me and the governor are on two different wavelengths here. This was weak on school choice.
Well, and you'd already known that. We had said at the beginning of this conversation this year that when it came up that her interpretation of school choice and your interpretation was different. However, last week we discussed the bill that was coming forth that actually has money that follows the students. Now, my question is, since you know what the governor's interpretation of school choice is, does this bill have any chance of passing?
Well, I mean, does she? You talking about the Price Act, the one that's actually vouchers?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, because what she's saying doesn't really change anything. They want to reauthorize some school in Demopolis. Okay, great. I'm all for that. Do one for teachers, too. Do an education prep academy. That's fine. I love that idea. But the voucher thing, she didn't even mention it. And it tells me that is not on her screen. And I think that this is sort of what we always expected from the beginning here. Maybe we got a little false hope recently. What we always expected was the AEA version of school choice. And this is it. This is the AEA. We did school choice. School choice. That's basically what it is.
And you said she didn't even mentioning it. So exactly. This is her chance to promote the things she supports, the things she will be putting forward this next legislative session. And like you said, that did not come up.
No big swing on school choice. Let's agree there. Okay, good. We're in complete agreement there. All right, let's talk about one more thing before we bring in Yaffe as our guest. Spaced out. Colorado is trying absolutely everything. It is the saddest thing in the world. And if it is effective, this is politics. You shouldn't play politics with this. You shouldn't play politics with this. You guys at 256 today, we talked about it last week. I had a report that had them 5th, Colorado, but they're still going on the floor. They're calling out Tommy Tuberville. They're talking about how everybody needs to be able to have an abortion because that's how you know your military's ready. All the abortions and transgenders you can possibly find. That's how you know you have a strong military. It's just a very weird thing. And Tuberville's been going to war with the DOD over this abortion thing too. So this is an interesting thing. How low can Colorado go, and can they be successful playing this game?
All right, you know how I sometimes say you need to explain things better. What we are talking about specifically on this one, well, we're talking about many things with Colorado, but that there was an incident where Senator was it Bennett from Colorado actually called out Tuberville on the Senate floor, and it was embarrassing. That's how low they can go. It was very, very embarrassing. I don't know how low they can go, but again, going back to the report that we featured on 256 today, there's no point in this conversation even continuing at this point. It doesn't even make sense. Just go back to the reports. The Colorado Springs wasn't even second. They were like 5th. There's no reason for this. So really that's their only option, is to go out and try to cause these sort of distractions and messes. I will say though, Tuberville, just due to his history and background, He's not someone who's going to back down. He will respond in kind to these sort of things, and he did. That's not someone I would single out, I would say, on the Senate floor.
Yeah, that's a big win for Tuberville. And you said it was embarrassing for Colorado, just to be clear.
Yes,
yeah, I know that's what you meant, but I just want to make that clear. That it was embarrassing for Colorado because of how they handled it, and they're not stopping. And I think you're right. There's no reason to even respond. There's no reason to even respond anymore for the Alabama delegation. But Tuberville continues to impress, not only as an ideologue, but as a politician. I mean, he is staying true to what he said he was going to do, and he's being damn effective at it. And I love this Senator Tuberville, Senator Coach Tuberville. I don't know what we're supposed to call him. I'm just going to call him Tuberville. Okay, so that's what we'll call him. Okay. When we come back here on Alabama Politics this week, we'll be joined by Ivey, from Talk 99.5. Nope, that's incorrect. He fills in on Talk 99.5, but he's on WVNN, unless I missed something. We'll talk with Ivey next. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics this week.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them. I love them. Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook. Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.
Have you filed for disability benefits but were denied by the Social Security Administration? Or do you need to apply for benefits and are overwhelmed with paperwork? Are you between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury? Thousands of hardworking Americans are in your situation. They file for disability benefits every month and are unnecessarily denied their much-needed benefit check. Call now for a no-obligation, free evaluation. We can help you nearly double your chances of approval and get your benefit checks faster. We understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact and will share our insider expertise. There is a time limit to apply. We're here to help you get your disability claim filed and paid as soon as possible. Please, time is limited. So, if you are between the ages of 50 to 63 and can no longer work because of an illness or injury, call right now and let us help you file your disability claim with the Social Security Administration.
Other southern states like Mississippi have stopped suspending folks' driver's licenses because they can't afford to pay tickets. Not Alabama. Nearly 170,000 Alabama drivers have lost their licenses because they missed payments on tickets. Hard to take care of your kids if you can't get them where they need to be. Support the bipartisan driver's license bill and get these folks back on the road. Workers drive Alabama. When we're free to drive, we're free to work.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. We are in a newish setup for a couple of weeks where they built us our high-tech studio. With me, as always, Mecca Music, and then our special guest from WVNN, Ivey, who we are thrilled to have here on the program. Ivey, we were talking a little bit about this special session, which, by the way, 256today.com, Mecca's the CEO, they had this. They have an off-the-record segment, and where they get at news and some rumors and stuff.
Rumors and rumblings, OTR, off the record, rumors and rumblings. And yeah, it was actually included that this special session was coming before it was announced.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Good information there. But Ivey, we're in the special session. It looks like it's moving forward with almost no road bumps. It looks like they're just ready to cram this thing in. It's $1 billion, whatever. We'll just get this done in like 2 weeks or something. No big deal. Budgeting takes all session. Why do you think they're so ready to just get this done and get the next session started?
Because that's when the juicy stuff starts. Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but they want to get the easy spending done. Everyone's going to approve of spending for healthcare and spending for broadband. Then we can get to tax cuts or tax rebates or education. That's why.
Oh,
hey, I would disagree. Wait, Del, I would disagree a little bit. I don't think it's all going to be smooth sailing because that's a lot of money and you just put it in the lawmakers' hands and everybody wants to buy it.
Yeah, I was going to say just that. I was going to say it's very strange that like the 1.1 billion or whatever, it's like 1.9 or something billion dollars. That's like the easy thing. We'll just go ahead and we'll just do that thing. And then we'll have to get to that tough thing like school choice or something along those lines. But yeah, the battle is there. There's a lot of questions. Will more money go to hospitals? There's been some questions about that. But everything they do, they're going to have to figure out. They're going to have a consensus in order to pull that off. And that's what they're going to have to do. But let's back up just a little bit. Let's talk about the state of the state. I claimed earlier today, and Mecca said, that's not true. It was exciting and riveting. I said it wasn't aspirational. I wanted, the governor to come out there and stand up and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a massive plan. And here's how we're going to move forward. I think she just basically said, we're going to run government basically as usual. And there's some extra money. So guys, please do that as well. Was there anything aspirational or big for you, anything that blew you away, anything you took note of?
No, Governor Kay Ivey is basically going to tout her record already. She's going to say, look, we're doing great. That's because I've been governor. I'm going to manage things just the way they are because we're doing so good. She's not going to be the kind that's going to have bold reforms on the table. We're going to have to wait for the next governor, I think, to be that person.
I think that's true. You don't agree,
Becca? Just hypercritical. I mean, this is what the citizens say. You're supposed to get out and say, hey, look at what I've done. Look at what we accomplished. Alabama is thriving. She did exactly what she was supposed to do.
Joe Biden stood up one time at a State of the Union and said, I'm going to cure cancer. All right. So sometimes there are these big swings here. She just didn't take any. Look, remember, Mecca, you don't remember this, but Mecca, do you remember in the past when they were like, hey, we're going to do economic incentives? And it was a huge fight in order to offer economic incentives to bring jobs and stuff here. Huge battle. That now renewing that is a nothing. It's like, that's just sign it off. Go ahead. We're all behind it.
Well, so you just want more drama then, more battle.
No, I'm just suggesting that was an innovative thing. That was a heavy lift. It was something they had to do.
So because it's not a fight, but she did promote that. I mean, the Alabama.
No, I know it's not a fight though. She didn't take it. That's easy. That's softball. That's going to happen.
But it still needs to be done.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with that. Of course, it needs to be done.
Jump in, Yappy.
Well,
go ahead.
I just have to say, I think Mecca is right in terms of that's what people expect from Kay Ivey. They expect her to be the manager type. They expect her to be the person that's going to continue to do the jobs she's been doing. That's why I made the point that if we want a real aspirational, bold reformer, it's just going to take someone else. But the people elected Ivey for that reason.
So she's more of like a Greg McElroy style quarterback as opposed to a Tua. She's just there to manage the game as opposed to take it over. Is that fair?
That is a great example. Yes.
Okay.
Agree with that
now
100%.
Let's move on to something that you and I care very much about. Not to say Mecca doesn't, but you and I have been hyper focused on this. She mentioned school choice. I looked it up. She said it 4 times, and not once did she say what it actually means, at least in my mind. Is it dead now? Because Kay Ivey said, I'm not interested in what you're talking about. Is that dead?
I don't know if it's dead. There does seem to be some push from even more legislators than in the past And the biggest reason for that is this is a movement countrywide. So as other states in the nation really push for this, it makes national news. All they have to do is point to Ivey, point to others and say, look, we need to follow their lead. It's a shame that we're not the leader, that we're going to follow other states. But I think that does have an effect. And if it doesn't pass this year, the momentum still is building a little bit. But I agree with you. It seems like she's going to push for more charter schools than just say a real
This
school
week
choice
alone,
grant.
this week alone, Georgia, Arkansas, Idaho, I believe, maybe Iowa, whatever. They're the same. Either way, some state that starts with an I move forward on this. And Alabama is still like, yeah, we're good. We don't need to do that. Why do you think that is? Again, take a big swing. It's the first year of your last term, the last 4 years. Do something big.
Well, for one, the teachers union has a lot of influence, but I think that we're such a rural state where there's a lot of farming communities that just won't benefit from it as much. So the leaders just don't have the incentive that they used to. It's going to be up to the more urban areas to really start to push that incentive. And it's going to be up to a movement, to the people. And we just haven't seen that yet, but it is building. I'm optimistic for the future, not optimistic for this year.
Mecca.
I agree with Yappy. That was very well put.
All right. I think the momentum is here. I agree with that. My fear is all the other states do it and the momentum dies. That's my biggest fear, and we miss the boat. All right. Let's switch gears here. Yappy, you've been right in the middle of this, talking about these tax reforms and all this other stuff that's been going on. Some people want tax rebates. Ivey, Mecca, she took a big swing on this by giving out a ridiculous number, $800 per family, which is not going to happen. I've heard people now say a 4-year tax holiday on sales tax. I've never heard that before. The first time I ever heard anything close was Anthony Daniels saying a month. And now here we went from a month to 4 years. Okay. Where are we at on this actually? That sounds like something that could actually happen. Which is more likely, a month or 4 years?
Well, I think a month is more likely. I actually think it should be longer than a month, though, at least a few months. You're talking about Sam Gavan. He was the one that said that, and he's been pushing for a grocery tax cut for a while. What really surprised me about what he said, though, is there's not as much support for a rebate as I thought there would be. My prediction, though, is we're going to get a rebate because you got one side that doesn't want any kind of tax relief. They just want to save for a rainy day. Then you have another side that wants permanent tax cuts. And the compromise is going to be a rebate because they want to at least give something. They don't want to be the guy voting against any tax relief. So I support more permanent tax cuts. I think at the end of the day, Ivey is going to get what she wants.
Yappy, talk a little bit about Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth and how he feels about this position.
Yeah, I interviewed him on my show, wrote about it at Yellowhammer News as well. He has said that in the past, he supports permanent tax cuts. Now, he said he's going to look over Ivey's proposal, maybe see the details of it, but he thinks we need real relief, and a rebate's kind of a token one-off effort that, okay, you get this, you're kind of done. And he's like, look, in good economic times, we need permanent tax cuts. That's when you cut taxes, is right now. You don't wait till things are bad. Then nobody wants to cut taxes. So I think it's going to be interesting, but he's not the governor. He's the lieutenant governor. We might have to wait until he's actually governor one day.
All right. You mentioned that he's not governor. That is correct. Okay. He is not the governor, but this is the second thing he's broken links on with Ivey here recently. School choice. And now this. Is this just politics? Or is this a policy disagreement? Or is it both?
It's both. I think he's going to run for governor in a few years. So he needs this kind of stuff in his resume. I mean, I just don't think it's going to be good enough at that time to say, well, I'm just another Ivey. He's going to want to prove that I'm not just another Ivey. I'm a bold conservative reformer. And they'll be able to kind of look at these things and say, look, even I disagreed with Ivey here. I think that's where a lot of this comes into effect.
I absolutely believe that as well. I think that he is looking ahead. He is looking towards his race and when he's going to run. And this makes smart political sense. These are good moves on his part.
There we go. Yaffy, thank you very much. Appreciate it. He is on WVNN from 9 until 11 in Huntsville and all over the state. He's Alabama's most listened to fill-in host anywhere. Mecca, you're out of here. The show gets a lot better on the other side when I've got the parting shot. Thanks for being here. Talk to you in a second. It's Alabama Politics This Week. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them. I love them. Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook. Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.
I'm a small business owner, and after the past 2 years, I'm ready to hire. But it seems like every time I find a good worker, they don't have a driver's license. Hard to get to the job if you're not allowed to drive. Support the bipartisan driver's license bill and get folks back on the road. Workers drive Alabama. When we're free to drive, we're free to work.
Back to Alabama politics this week. I am Dale Jackson, and we're about to jump into the parting shot, and it's going to be one that's actually about free speech, not this thing where people say free speech and then say, but censor that person and this person and that person. We'll get into that in a second. First, let me remind you, head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast, the 7 things you should be talking about today, a brand new setup, so go check it out. You will love it, yellowhammernews.com. And check it out today. As for right now, let's get to that party shot. Party shot this week is directed at every member of the United States Senate and the United States of America's media. Hello? You guys spent years complaining every time Donald Trump looked at the back of a rally crowd and said, look at those guys out there. They're terrible. The media is awful. Jim Acosta, I don't like him. Katie Tur, oh, terrible. You guys said that you were coming under threat because of that. Your lives were in danger. The very democracy of America was in danger. And you told us that if Donald Trump kept talking like that, by golly, somebody was going to get hurt. But you, Chuck Schumer, and every member of the American media that doesn't work at Fox News can come out and say, oh my God, Tucker Carlson, someone has to stop him. In fact, Rupert Murdoch should stop him. The shareholders at Fox, yes, we need big corporations to silence people for, oh wait, that's exactly what you did with Twitter and Facebook. What a surprise. Back to the exact same playbook again, where you're using corporate America to try to silence your enemies. And I'll tell you this, when you think about it and you hear somebody say, oh, we should silence this person, you know what it makes me say? I kind of want to hear what he has to say. And I think a lot of people are doing that with this information. Well, Tucker Carlson's not the bad guy here. You may disagree with him. He's not the bad guy here. He's putting more information out. You want to disprove it? Disprove it. That's fine. But trying to get him silenced by his boss, come on. Try not to be pathetic. You're a United States Senator. Come on. Have some pride, Senator Schumer. Thank you very much for watching Alabama Politics this week. We appreciate you being here. Next week, same setup, and then our new studio should be ready the week after that. But thank you very much for watching Alabama Politics this week. We'll see you soon.